It's day 5 in our reading plan to unlock the Bible, and we're on Genesis 22. This is kind of the famous story of the faith test that God put Abraham through after he gave this promise of a son. It says, sometime later, God tested Abraham's faith. Take your son, your only son, and sacrifice him as a burnt offering. Now, again, this seems really weird to modern readers, but he's talking about Isaac, the child of the promise. If you go back and read from Genesis 15 on, you'll see that Abraham eventually had this son. And Abraham had waited decades for the son. So this had to be crazy for God to say this to Abraham. Isaac was probably a teenager by now or something like that. We're not exactly sure. But this was a huge faith test. And I love what it says in verse 3. The next morning, Abraham got up early. Now, I'm going to be honest with you here. I would have procrastinated. If I hear from God, maybe if you read the Bible and you start seeing what God says in his word and you don't really like it, probably you hesitate, you procrastinate, you make excuses. I know I would. Abraham didn't. Now, I'll let you read this story for yourself. I don't want to spoil the details. But at the end of the chapter, God says this: because you have obeyed me and have not withheld even your son, your only son, I swear by my own name that I will certainly bless you. Here's my question for you. I want you to make this personal. What good thing are you keeping from God? In essence, that's really what this story represents. It represents more than that, but it represents a good thing that God had given to Abraham, but God said, now I want that back. He didn't end up taking it back. Turns out it was just a faith test. Would you pass the test if God required it? Why don't you think about that as you read the story of Abraham and Isaac?